Alright, fellow Kaijudo duelists, this is Chris here, Team Squeaky, here at Kaijudo Central. So, big announcement yesterday, right? Everybody learned where the KMCs were going to be held, alright? We had the official announcement from Wizards, and so wanted to kind of give my opinions. I know there's a lot of opinions going on out there about a couple of different things. Several people disappointed, store owners disappointed, but then you got the group of us happy, and stuff like that. So I kind of want to give my opinions on it. I know that a lot of people are probably going to sit there and think, oh crap, he's not going to be on a rant, and it's all going to be negative and stuff like that. And no, not the case. Not the case. There was a lot of positive that came out of yesterday. Don't get me wrong, disappointed with some of the stuff. But other than that, overall good. Overall really good. So, first off, as we all know, all the locations got announced. My teammate Larry, he decided to do like a mapping using some different stuff from what we know about Magic the Gathering, how Grand Prix occur and things like that. And a lot of it came to fruition about what we thought would happen. Some things we had surprising, but we knew figuring things. First off, California was going to get 2. We knew Texas would get 2. We didn't expect them to be as close to each other as that. We expected one of them to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We expected the other one to be down in San Antonio or Houston, though. So we weren't expecting them to be that close. But apparently that happened. I know some people are disappointed with that. It is what it is. But like I said, we expected Texas to get 2 here on Team Squeaky. We knew Florida would get 1, and then we expected the Northeast to get a couple, just because of Aiden's group up there. I know he has a large play group up there in I think it's Connecticut. I'm pretty sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it's Connecticut, Massachusetts area. And so we knew that we're going to get something. And then when you start looking around like how the map kind of works, it follows a lot of the lines of how they tend to group where the Grand Prix occur like every 3 years or so with Magic the Gathering. The shocker was, obviously, for me in particular, we expected Canada to get 3. We knew British Columbia would get 1. We knew the East Coast for Canada would get 1, either Quebec or Ontario. We expected that. We knew the Central Canada would get 1, which obviously occurred in Manitoba with Winnipeg. We didn't expect the 4th one. And I think that's where we have a disappointment here in the Pacific Northwest, in that we didn't get a KMC, either in Washington, Oregon, or Idaho, because we figured we would get one in one of those 3 states to hold down the Pacific Northwest, and it didn't occur. Much to my disappointment, my teammates' disappointment, local players' disappointment, local card shops' disappointments, and stuff like that. That'll be for something later in the video. But yeah, so that occurred. But when you look at the overall mapping in there, to be honest, it's pretty solid. I don't know specifically about the cities that they're in, but for the areas in that, it really is about how we expected it to take and be. East Coast got a lot. Obviously, that's a hotbed for it. Texas got a lot, hotbed. I was shocked, to be honest with you, Oklahoma City didn't get 1. I kind of feel they got robbed on that because they had that great turnout for that box event that everybody saw on Thunder Sultan's channel, and I think they kind of got robbed by Leavenworth, Kansas. I think they kind of took their KMC, looking at how the mapping and stuff occurred. Sad for the OKC area, but hey, hopefully, through this video and through other people's stuff and like that, obviously Wizards will learn, continue to sit there and grow from this, and the next set of KMCs they hold will obviously continue to work and be better than what they previously were before, So, yeah. Overall, like I said, with the areas that they chose, the states mixing them together and stuff like that, that I agreed with. The piece that I would hope WotC would work on next go-around would be that they're in cities that people want to travel to. A lot of these are in cities that people don't really know of, heard of, and I don't think would travel to almost. when I think of a KMC, I tend to look at it more like a Magic the Gathering Grand Prix, a YCS for Yu-Gi-Oh, those type of things, and they tend to get held in large cities because people tend to make weekends of these things. They take small vacations with it and that. And several of these locations just came as a shocker. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Mainsville, Kentucky? That's like even south of Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky. That's like in BFE, Kentucky. No disrespect. Please, don't think I'm disrespecting that area or whatnot. That's really in the middle of nowhere. You take that Saturday, it's probably going to be a Saturday for that particular location. And what are you doing after that? It does at that particular point. Some of these locations, I mean, I hate to sit there and say this, and I know I kind of look at it negatively a little bit just because I feel that it kind of stole my KMC here for the Pacific Northwest. But even Prince Rupert, British Columbia, I went to go look at this particular place because I was like, well, maybe I'll travel to it, right? It's 20 hours from Seattle. You can't expedite it other than to take a plane ride up there, which I looked at that. That's like almost $1,000 to take a plane ride up there. A city of 12,000 people holding a KMC with no large city near it at all. Vancouver's way south of it. So that just didn't make sense. Some of these locations didn't make sense. I agree. Don't get me wrong about this. I agree British Columbia should have gotten a KMC. To get two, and one of them being way out there that really people can't really get to, just didn't make sense. The KMCs are supposed to be, I think personally, something we all should be able to sit there and travel to. And make something of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Prince Rupert's not beautiful. I took a look at some pictures and stuff like that. It's the hub for the seaport up there for northern British Columbia. I learned a lot of stuff looking it up, trying to figure out how I could get to this place and if I was going to go to it. But places like that, just didn't make sense. If there's something I would sit there and say to WotC about this particular piece, would be to make sure next go around you put these next to large cities, no more than 30 minutes away from them, just because people would travel more to these particular things. They're going to have more to take and do, and it incentivizes them even further, I think, to take and go to these particular things. And if there's any negative I think I would have towards it, it's that particular piece, is making sure going forward that we don't have off-the-wall BFE locations, for these places, that they're actually held next to a major city, so they're grander in a sense. People have more incentive to take and go to this. The really cool one I thought they took and they did, and had to be planning, they had to get that planned perfectly, was the Las Vegas one, because it's on the same weekend that the Magic the Gathering Modern Masters Grand Prix is going on in Las Vegas. So that had to be planned. I'm fairly for certain of that one. Just so they could kind of maybe mix the players together and something like that. But yeah, that was one, that one made sense to me. And the date that they were holding it, obviously, just because it matched up well with that. Some of these other things, though, I don't know. I know players in the Pacific Northwest are a little peeved a little bit, traveling for these particular things. What was it? Like I said, Prince Rupert from Seattle was 20 hours. Going to Manteca, California was 12. Mind you, all these are drive times, right? And then Bakersfield was 15. And then the drive to Las Vegas is like 18 from here. So, I mean, these are long trips people are going to have to sit there and make, and I just feel that they need to be, I think, more, like I said, more towards large cities. And then the second thing, too, is make it easier for areas that they can get to. Because, yeah, people want to travel these things, you want to get to them. You want to compete against each other. That's kind of the whole piece to it. So, the other thing, in talking to some players and stuff like that, and WotC, you need to be checking your email. On this one, I'm pretty sure you guys are watching this video, so please be checking your email. And I'm not saying the players that have told me about this. I'm not saying the players of where they come from because I don't want backlash for them. But some of these stores that got KMCs, you need to really check about why they got a KMC. And the reason why I say that is players around the country are telling me that stores that got KMCs don't even sell Kaijudo product, aren't promoting it, and all of a sudden now have a KMC. Something's wrong there and how this occurred in that particular aspect. So WotC, please be checking your email because I know these players have reached out to you. They've sent you emails. I've had one come back with showing me the reply they got back from WotC about it. Like I said, I'm not going to say the player. I'm not going to say the area because I don't want backlash to this player for trying to go what's really going on here. But something there kind of seems iffy and shaky and I think needs to be addressed and looked at. So please, WotC, please take a look at that, listen to these players, and do some investigating because something seems a little iffy. I don't know if reports were rigged, because obviously we're not using DCIs right now. It's just entering in the amount of players that you're getting. But a couple areas, the players are going, this doesn't seem right. It doesn't make sense. So that's really my only negative feedback, other than please put these in larger cities next go around and make them a little bit more balanced and easier for players to get to, just so that we can enjoy it. Other than that, though, KMC's excited to sit there and see them come out. I wish they'd come out a little bit sooner because tickets for flights and stuff like that are just really expensive last second, and when you're trying to get to places that are off the wall and BFE, it's a little bit more expensive to get to them, especially when it's last second. So, but other than that, everybody get out there, enjoy your KMCs. Get to play with your, I don't know what you even say, local area Kaijudo players. I mean, maybe even some of us who are traveling, and stuff like that, get to sit there and see us, and we'll get to sit there and see you guys and interact with you all. But let's have some fun out there, right? Let's get to enjoy these KMCs and get to the Kaijudo Championships. All right. So, like I said, just my piece of my opinions on it. Not all negative, a lot of positive. Just some things I would sit there and suggest and request. That's it. All right, everybody. This is Chris from Team Squeaky here at Channel Kaijudo, or not Channel Kaijudo Master. Sorry, still working on that. Kaijudo Central. All right, later.